Right. Hello. Let me just stick this up on X. Let's go. Still got to get used to doing all this. Okay. There we go. Okay. Right, so I want to bring up our statistics. Good morning. Afternoon for me, but good morning. I hope you're all well. Going to be going through some of the upcoming price. Hey. Make sure you drop in anything you want to cover, some key things, any pairs you want to go through, daily, weekly. We want to, obviously, one of the main things we want to look at is upcoming session, what we kind of look at for the upcoming sessions, anything that's kind of backing up that if we get a transition, and then obviously we get that flow in the higher time frame as well, then we can go through that. Make that normal. We can see it all. Okay. So today we've got, how long have we got? 15 minutes for a little bit of news coming out. Yes, the live is recorded. It will be on the YouTube channel. You'll be able to go back and watch it like you can watch the other live. Don't worry, buddy. You can come back and have a look. Don't worry. What happened on NAS yesterday with MaxAlgo? Let's take a look. Should we dive in? So, been on gold a lot this morning, obviously with the transition. So let's leave that there. So let's just go through. Obviously, we had the transition overnight, right? We had that transition into the night. We went bearish. We can see here with our market structure, we take the high, we then take the low, and we move back into that bearish price action. We start taking highs, we take the low, and then it's gone. Why is it gone? Why is it not on? Hang on. That's me. I broke that. And then we had a sell signal here, which you can't currently see. I'll add it back on. Good morning. And gave us that nice high probability. I think it was 73% bearish this hour. And obviously we had that drop. Came down. And then, as you can see here, we then started to failing to come lower. So we went bearish again, only for a little bit, and immediately we started to pull back into this pullback. So obviously until we transition bullish, even though obviously we've crossed over on the zero line, that gives us that obviously we're not definitely looking for any shorts while we're bending back up. We want to see this cross back over before we're then looking potentially back in the short side. Otherwise, until that point, we're still expecting some higher action. We're also breaking highs. Yeah, so the high of the last hour we've broken, and we will put on the low of the last hour and the high. So right now, until it changes, we're expecting this high to go. We're expecting that continuation. Not as clean as sort of more like this corrective. Yeah. So we're more expecting that corrective price action to lead to that drop. But we sit and wait. Let's look at NQ. We looked like we might have transitioned, and then went back to strong bullish, came back above the zero line, and we've only been seeing buys since. So right now, we've just been in a real strong bullish momentum. Let's have a look at what the day is. So we're corrective bearish on the day. So, I mean, yeah. Of the 333 times this day happened, we only closed bearish 2%. So like 98% probability that, where did we open? I need to get used to being on different time. Where is it? New York. There we go. So here's our open. So obviously today we are not expecting to close below here. Obviously maintain that bullishness. We might pull back, but we're not expecting to close below it. Can you confirm if the algo repaints during the entire candle formation? So the repaint is based off of two things in the algo. So basically you can switch between two different variations. So for example, when you're bullish, you're either bullish or you're correcting bullish. To get to bearish, we have to correct to bearish. So once you start that transition, it can happen during a candle. And this is where, when we went through yesterday, we go into the statistics, you can see the probability of that continuation, which is why we focus on strong trends, because there's a 78% probability of that continuation through the trend. So if we go into the data, top, we can see, I need to, pretty big. Okay, so we can see here, if the higher time frame is bullish and we have a strong bullish, we had 190 on the day, 190 candles that confirmed bullish. Of them, we had 117 that transitioned it into a sequence 2, that confirmed then a sequence 2, that ended the next candle as a sequence 2. So this is why we are looking for the combination of everything to combine to give us that highest probability. It's also why volume, like when we're not trading during like high news, because volume will just take it through the roof, and low volume just sits around and does nothing. But when we're trading normal price action, we're getting those sort of more consistent transitions through them. It's a difficult one. Obviously, we can turn that off so that as the candle closes, it'll then just give you the prediction full stop. But you'll be slightly behind, as where this is keeping you that sort of ahead of those transitions of those things happen, and giving you a warning that, for example, if you're strong bullish, say on a sequence 10 or on a 5, and then you start seeing it flipping to going to a corrective, you know that obviously things are starting to weigh off, and potentially we're now going to flip to a corrective price action. The payday setup is the highest probability in terms of what you're using. It's not the only way to use it. So, for example, when you see it pulling in the opposite direction, so if it's currently saying, I'm going to close bearish, and you see the prices going up, and we're getting that strong move in the other day, but the algo isn't changing, it's a great indication that actually it's, that's probably going to hold, and that statistic's going to be in there. So when we start pushing in the opposite direction and the algo's holding strong, it's a really great indication that, that it's going to take a lot more to be able to flip the opposite direction. So, for example, like on the dailies where it takes much more volume, it's really great for that kind of when we're pushing in the other direction. Like I've had a few great trades on New York Open where we've really heavily pushed into the other direction when it's opened, and the algo sat at 80% probability of going bullish. And I've caught a couple of great trades, taking it back up, and obviously using that data into the last hour. I think I shared them on X a while back on a couple of those trades that I took, and that was just, you could see that even though it was heavily pushed in the other direction, it was not able to move the algo, and it was still giving us that very high probability of going in the other direction. Obviously, every trend needs to change, and what this is doing for you is it's telling you right now what the current price action is, whether we're corrective, whether we are bearish, strong bearish. So it's defining it for you to say where you're currently at, what current price action, and what you can expect from that price action. Corrective price action is always going to be a lot less straight lines and more pullbacky than it is than having a strong trend. For example, like if you trade order blocks, then obviously if you have a strong trend, it's less likely it's going to go back to the origin of the move, right? Because it's in a strong trend. So it's more might be the order block that caused the break, all that type of thing. So this is long term about helping you build that bias around what you want to do with it. And then obviously you've got other ways to use it. We've spoke about using it with ICT on like your what's his main hours? It's power, not power hours. What are they called? Like the 22 mentorship. You want to trade a kill zone. Thank you very much. So you want to get your kill zone, right? And you load up the algo and it's giving you that kind of directional bias. And then you're looking for your entry, which is obviously a strong momentum within a certain direction, and then your fair value gap. But the algo is helping you confirm that. It's adding that confidence. Yeah, silver bullet, for example. So it's adding that value for you to say, okay, I'm expecting price to go bearish. Hey, Peter, and you're expecting it to go through. So there's going to be a big deep dive into the algo. And obviously, like I said, the statistics here are going to be done for you so that you can see the probability of those transitions. Because as it goes through, you can see at certain points, for example, like and it's different for every pair, which is why it's important to do your analysis by pair. But when we get to like a segment 4, where is it? Of here. So, for example, if I can highlight this, I don't know whether you guys can zoom in and see this. If I can zoom in, so we have a strong bullish trend in a higher time frame. This is our payday setups we're looking for. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see the probability sits at 73%. Well, when we transition to a fifth, the probability goes up to 85%, and then also the continuation increases in probability as well. So it's almost like when we get that first transition, you normally get sort of the 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, and then that might be the point of where you'll see that trend end, and we might then transition into a corrective point before going back into a sequence 1. However, if you're able to break through that and get into like a sequence 5, you know it's giving you that longevity of the trend that we might get that further push further on. And it's much like the trend AI, where we have that set to go live so that you can be on it, but obviously you can turn it off as well. So, for example, I'll show you that now. So, for example, here we're obviously showing as the hours going through. Hey, what are these sequences? So the sequences is basically the algo predicting what the current candle is going to be. So we can see now we're currently on a sequence 2, strong bullish, higher time frame bullish, because we've transitioned from a corrective into a bullish. So we've had a corrective here, and then gone strong bullish 1. And we've transitioned back where we can see that the trend AI has gone weaker, and then back into strength, and then we've come back above the 0 line, and now obviously we've gone on. So this is predicting the current candle outcome for this hour. So if you change the chart time here, we can say a day. So we know that obviously there's a very high probability of today for NQ, very, very high, 97% being bullish. But we will look at the New York session when it opens. So we'll look at specifically New York and how we expect New York to go. But we can go through and look at what we expect for the weeks and everything else. So this week, there was an 86% probability based on 44 other weeks that we closed bullish, right? So it's stuff like that being outlined for the week when you start off and you have this pullback at the beginning of the week. So it's Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday that we expect at some point we're going to transition and head our way bullish, right? but we're looking for those confirmations rather than just diving in. Yeah. How do I get rid of those? Let's go back to the hour. So specifically, we try to focus this on being a day trading system at the moment, although it's going to be coming for long-term investments like crypto and stocks and other things. So let's add in our settings. So I want to show my 20-minute line and my 40-minute line. Okay. Oh, I ticked them on. There we go. It's a bit fugly. Let's go through some stats for today on NQ as well. Let's have a look at how things are performing. So we want to look at this week. Let's see how we've been performing this week. Okay, so we can see that bullish, we've had 50 bullish candles and 50 bearish candles this week. On the bullish sides, statistically, we've obviously, you can see there, we've had a 78% probability. So right now, obviously when we 20-minute mark, we have a 78% probability of well, based on all the other time, based on where the lows have been for a bullish candle, they've been in the first 20 minutes, right? So like here, when we hit that 20-minute mark, if we were expecting to go bullish, we expect that to be our low, and we expect this to be our high. And we can see there's a 46% probability and a 20%. So in the last 20 minutes, we're pushing 66% probability that the high this week is going to be in this segment. And we are a good 78% probability that this is, once we've gone here, that this is going to be the low for the bullish candle, right? So like here, if we're expecting this candle to be bullish, we're expecting this low to have been in. We are at half past, so we're at this point now. So we've had another 8%. So we've got 60%, 70%, 78%, 86%. So by this point, 86% on a bullish candle, the lows were in. So we know that statistically, there's very high probability that's our low for the hour, right? You can do what you want to do, put your trend lines on. You're expecting that break. And we're expecting our high to be in our last 20 minutes, right? If all of our data aligns. Now, obviously, the first warning we've got is we've gone red on here, okay? That doesn't mean that we can't yet flip back, but that gives us our warning that obviously all through this, we're getting that nice bullish trend that potentially we just need to be a little bit more careful and just hold out. So it's about all the confluences aligned. This is the average hour. So this is letting us know that based on this week, for all the hours, all the bullish hours, this has been the average that price has moved to. And this is 50% of the average price has moved to. So, you know, these can be good trades when we get to this 20-minute, because you can often get a very cheap entry, you know, if it's close to the low or the high, and we're breaking previous hours highs. So we've broken this high, right? There's our low from the other hour. So right now we're saying 86% is the low. And we are expecting that high potentially in this section here. Yeah, which gives us 66%. So this is about kind of helping people. Obviously, one, it's showing you where we're bullish and where potential entries could be as well. So these are kind of potential entries. They're not to be taken this is not to be taken every. You need everything combining as the indicator. So we can see here that when we go bullish, we break over the zero line. We now know we're switching potentially bullish. We've had the transition, trend AIs, strong bullish trend. This blue, as you can see, I'm using it throughout, is confirming bullish. This red is confirming bearish. So when we then here, we are above, we've broken highs, market structure's changed, right? We want the algo to be giving us higher probability, and then we're looking for these nice trades. So here, when we break the 20-minute and we've gone blue and we've failed to go down again when we've changed, we've not been able to, we've gone back bullish. In here, there could have been an opportunity to take an entry with our stop below, looking to take our profit at the end, right? As well as obviously the signals that you get. So the dynamic here is to help people like, okay, well, potentially I need to be careful, right? Potentially I might want to be looking. I do, 100%. It's a big part. Obviously, you will see a lot of the time, especially obviously what we're currently trending, you'll see a lot of the time that for us to kind of confirm that bearish trend, right? So we go under here, we start crossing under, we get our sell signals, we get our large drop, right? So when we first come up, it can be a great opportunity to capture, as long as obviously we get everything else aligning with it. It can be a good opportunity to catch that movement. So we also use market structure. So the easiest way, so how I'm advising that we again, so we've got this nice, so potentially we're looking for this here, yeah, looking for this high up here. I'm going to take that off to keep it clean. But we're looking for our market structure, and the way that we do market structure is to keep it really simple. We use the last hour high and low and look at, are we currently breaking those highs and lows? And obviously this has got that structured for you. Each orange line is an hour, showing you an hour's period. Sometimes you can use the previous hour before that again, but most of the time you just want to be focusing on, see, look, we've gone strong again if this closes, I think, which gives us that confidence that we could potentially go. Also, when we're bullish, we generally correct down like this in like a channel. When we're bearish, we generally correct upwards into a channel like this. Yeah. Then we break down. So generally, you'll see that type of price action as well. So utilizing the data when you get to your 20% mark, the decision you're making is giving you that edge. Great question. So obviously it's about adding confluences. So for example, one way, how do we know if we're going to be bullish? Well, are we breaking the previous hour's high, right? So there is the previous hour's high. So we break that high. Our EMAs are crossed over as well. So we've got confluences with market structures showing that we're bullish. We've got EMAs showing us that we're bullish. Our hourly prediction, which is down here, if I move that out of the way, I'm just going to increase the size of this, make it large. So we can see that we are 77% probability closing bullish. So this is predicting the outcome of this hourly candle. So when this hourly candle starts, we've started on a sequence 2, which meant this was a sequence 1. So we know straight away, as soon as that hourly printed, because you cannot get a sequence 2 without having a sequence 1, we know immediately that gave us an indication straight away we're looking bullish. Combining that with all of the things, market structure, trend AI, dynamic TP's gone above the 0 line. It's nice and strong. It's given us all the confluences are aligning to give us that opportunity to sell, right? To give us that opportunity that we might be looking for buyers. And then we're also looking at the higher time frame. Higher time frame is bullish as well, which is really important. So we are in line with the higher time frame. Now, obviously, all of this could, at some point, every trend, everything has to change. So when we're bullish on the higher time frame, at some point we have to go bearish. So at some point, there will be those transitions, but because we're using the higher time frame, they're a lot less frequent. So we're capturing more of those moves. So really simple kind of market structure. We're using the hour, right? So where was the high of this hour? I'm going to get rid of this line. It's here. What did we do? Did we break it? Yes, we did. First bias bullish in market structure, right? So if we look at the previous hour, what have we done? So a lot of the time we'll do a flip. So we broke the low and in the same candle broke the high. So we went down and flipped back bullish again. You know, these are often a great opportunity where price drives down, takes people out, takes liquidity, turns, goes back bullish, and then we get that nice sort of drive in price. Yesterday, we had quite a few setups. Gold was an absolute beaut yesterday. So that was gold in the morning. So we transitioned to orange's weak bearish trends. So we know it's weakening. Then we transitioned into a bullish trend. We're above zero line. We get a nice buy signal, and we just keep on going. Buy. These are slightly different moving averages. They're not EMAs. They're slightly different ones that I've built in. I've put into it. I'll confirm that. I can't remember the names off my head. We can see here that we start getting a weakening of the trend on gold. It's not obviously completely confirmed, but we're starting to see that weakness, which is interesting. Our higher time frame is bearish, so obviously we've flipped bearish, and then obviously we've had trade here today as well. So obviously we transitioned here, went bearish, dropped, and then there was a signal here which you can't see because don't know why that's not showing on probable. It's all right. And then yeah, so obviously there was a signal there to get in, and that was the trade that I was in. Do we get alerts when we transition? Yes, we do. So these are some of the alerts that you can see I've got set up for paydays, ES, gold, and then also you can set alerts when you get buy and sell signals. Yeah, so buy signal, you could have got alerted for that, and potentially had that opportunity, right? So you can get alerts on majority of what you're looking for. As we cross the zero line, you can get an alert there. You can get alert on the buy and sell signals. Obviously, there's multiple signals. You can get an early signal. So obviously, if you want to get an early indication, if you're expecting things to go bullish, you get I try the alerts, but I get a lot of them. Then you must be, if you're using it for Trend AI, you might not have it set up on the right one. Let's go on YM. Good word. I haven't got YM. I'm going to add that on now. Do us a favor, guys. I've got to be a little bit encouraging. If you enjoyed what you've seen so far, do us a favor, just drop a little like on the video. Really appreciate everyone tuning in. Going to carry on and keep going. You got 3 alerts in the last 5 minutes. That's because it's set to the 1 minute. So obviously, as the candle's closing, it's flipping. I'll show you how to change that setting if you don't want it to do that, and we can add that on for you. That off. Right, so we are bearish. Have I got my settings right? Are we on the 1 minute? No, we're on the 5 minute. That's why. Okay, so we transition bearish, fail to go bullish, transition bearish, flip back bullish, and obviously we've maintained that. Sequence 1, what are we on? Sequence 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there's your first sequence. Sequence 2, sequence 3, sequence 4, sequence 5, sequence 6. So obviously we've come below the zero line, come back above, got our buy signals, and then we've gone. So we are utilizing the transition as at night, was it? Yeah, obviously volume slows down overnight, which is not great. Yeah, bearish transition there. That one's nice because obviously we're staying under. And then obviously we get our sell signals down. That one's good. Bullish transition. Bearish transition. So you can have obviously bullish price action in bearish. How do you know which sequences you're in? Because it tells you down here. Right here, right now. That is an hourly time frame. So it's saying the current hourly candle, this is our expectation. Our higher time frame is bearish. We're currently bullish, and we're on sequence 6. So there's a 73% probability that this hour is expected to close bullish. And we use this to combine with all of our other analysis. So we add all of our confluences together. Are we breaking highs? Have we got signals in the right places? We use all of those things together to give us what is our expected. So we're above the 0 line, right? So we know that's what we want to see. We get a nice cross. We come up, we fail to come lower, and then we cross bullish again. So that's also the dynamic TP is giving us that indication of where we want to go. The best sequences are your strong trends because it matches with the higher time frame. So there are 80 different there are 80 different total outcomes the algo's got, and you have 4 sequences for each higher time frame. So the higher time frame is either bullish or bearish. Obviously, long term, we might then define, but it'll end up being then 160 different outcomes. We might then define the higher time frame of are you in corrective higher time frame, etc. But right now, to keep it as simple as possible, we've got higher time frame being bullish, higher time frame being bearish, and then you've got what the current candle is, right? So higher time frame, current candle. So the current candle can be 4 things. We can be bullish in the higher time frame, but then we can be bearish. We can be corrective bearish. We can be strong bullish, which is in line with the higher time frame, and we'd be corrective bullish. So for example, corrective bullish would be like here, right? We start correcting and then we flip bullish again, right? So for example, we might have gone into a corrective bullish. Well, we didn't. Obviously, we're in sequence 6. But it's basically letting you know that you're still bullish. And while we've still got a strong trend, we're expecting to transition back into that. And when you do go back to it, it'll go back into a sequence 1. And it'll tell you back to the beginning again in a strong trend. Yeah, we had a nice pump on that day on CL. It reversed nice. Went on a really nice run. I can't remember what it was. Around here. We transitioned late in the night, and then we had that pump, and then obviously transitioned here. I missed this. Had to go out for my little lad's birthday. This was yesterday. So we had that bearish transition, obviously in line. So this was our payday setup. So we transitioned. So just to show you, you can turn off the real time. That'll stop getting constant alerts, but obviously it will delay it. So for example, it just goes straight to bearish because of how strong that move was. So sometimes, depending, you won't get the transitions. Where you get the transitions here, you might not get them. So I have it on real time so that I can see it as prices, because it's an hourly candle, and obviously we're showing each minute. So during that minute, the hour can change. But yeah, you can flip that and change it to wait for the hour to close before confirming. But otherwise, I like to kind of be ready to jump, ready to be ready. So here we come down. We have this nice strong move. We go into corrective price action, right? And then we then go bearish, right? Okay. So this was our entry, and then we had that nice drop. Where are we now? So we've had a transition bearish, transition back to bullish, come back above the 0 line, and then obviously we can see how it's much more like choppy, sort of compared to where we've had sort of some really strong movements down in line with the trend when we've been in line, and then we get this sort of more choppiness. But all through this, I mean, it's been perfect hours, right? Low, low, low. Like it's been perfect from a statistical standpoint. And obviously on bullish, we can see that CL, there's a 60% probability in the first 10 minutes that the low is going to be in for a bullish candle. So 75% in the first 21. EURUSD made a nice transition as well, did it? Wow. That's a nice. We've gone bearish, started to transition, gone bullish. Wow, yeah. I mean, obviously this was a huge transition here from bearish to bullish. And even during this push down here, remember our bias is still we're going to go back bullish, right? So manipulation doesn't fool us until we get the change. We didn't see anything. And remember, this is per candle per minute. We didn't get that, bang. We then flip back bullish again, right? Cross over the 0 line, take out the previous hour's high, and bang, off we go. Very nice. So where are we on NQ? We're in our take profit zone, right? So if we're trading this hour, we came to here, we spoke about it, very high probability. This is our low, right? We could have, when we've gone back above the EMA, might want to take that entry. We're obviously inside with fair value gaps or whatever you want to use. Stop below, and now we're taking profit. We haven't quite reached our average, so, you know, still potential for it more. We could be trailing nice and tight now, getting ready, knowing that we've still got 8 minutes left of this hour. But realistically, you know, we are expecting that profit's been done. So the signals for the time frame do not change. So the V1 signals, doesn't matter what time frame you go on, they are fixed and they don't repaint. As soon as they're triggered, that's it. They are confirming this data. So when you get a normal buy signal, it is confirming that basically you're expecting, if you think about it, like, where's a good example? So like here, once we take that high, statistically, this is the low, right? Because 78% of the time, the low was put in by that point. So it's based off of these statistics. So you just, once you've looked at the statistics and you're happy and confident with those ones, you know those signals are confirming that for you. So it doesn't mean that potentially you have to buy in at that point, but it could just be that, you know, at that point, if price is close enough and the risk is right, that you might take that entry. Like here's quite a nice tight one where you're expecting the high. And then these signals, which are off the EMA, these are for any time frame. So we can go up to the 5 minute and those signals will change because they're not based on statistics. They're based on price action. So these signals are the only signals of build that are based on price action. And that's because then it does mean that if you want to go up, we just have something away from probability that's a little bit more price actiony based. And they only show buys when we're bullish, and they only show sells when we're bearish with the EMAs. So just to add on that, so here you can see I've gone up to the 5 minutes, but the data hasn't increased. So remember, we fixed this with our start date to show this week. Now, if I go back to April, you can see now this is 895 bullish candles. So of the 895 bullish candles, 57% was in the first 10 minutes. And in the second 10 minutes, so our line is defining that, we have another 16%. So huge, right? So we know of nearly 900 candles. Yes, absolutely. It's about waiting for the high probability setups called our payday setups. So they are looking for a transition, right? We're looking for a transition. We're looking for our algo to confirm direction and then a signal and to trade in that way. They're the highest probability. They are the ones to trade. what you wait for, and they show up nearly every day. Okay. Right. Let me go back. So on the 5 minute, you can see you can load up your data and give yourself even more confidence that CL has a 70% probability that when we go bullish, it's going to be in the first 20 minutes. Your low is going to be there in the first 20 minutes. And you can see that you've got a 60% probability that where we're taking our profit, NQ this is, NQ, that it's going to be here in this section. We are trading with very high probability of it being here on our low. So this was really nice. We get that perfect downward trend anyway, right? It's just a perfect trade, that one. Really easy. That's amazing, man. Yeah, I know, mate. Everything takes a bit of time. You know, you can't. Everything takes a bit of time. So I'm really pleased that you've been able to understand it a bit better and then implement it with your current strategies. I want to be clear, like the reason why this isn't a mentorship, it's a toolkit. It's because I really want. Obviously, you can use what we do, and we'll give advice and support to help people trade. And there is obviously videos and a course in there as well. But this is a toolkit. It's probability. It's about you taking it, and also if you do have experience in other ways of trading, is adding to that. We talk about confluences, and this is a great confluence for you. You know, if you're going to enter a bullish trade, well, on the hourly stats, where does it make sense? If you think price is going to go up, where are you expecting to take your entry, and where are you expecting to take your profit? Right? It's just helping you trade with data and probability. So I don't use the new day and week and opening gap in the stats. We are going to be adding more and more and more and more probability to it. There is a lot more coming. Right now, this was good enough in terms of, like, for me, we've been building this for a long time. Like, until I would use it and I use it to trade, it was never going to go out to the public. So we've got to the point where I'm like, okay, these payday setups, the way I'm using it, other confluences I know how to trade. It's like, okay, I'm using it. I'm happy with it. I would happy then for other people to use it. So I waited. And that, obviously, I spoke about it for a while. People asked me when it was coming, and it wasn't coming until I had everything ready in terms that this was good enough for me, in that I would use it and I use it to trade, that then other people would use it. Because if I wouldn't use it, then why should I offer it to other people? So anyway, obviously, future developments, tons more coming with probability. So targets, where we expect price to go to, for example. One of the things we've done, obviously, I'm careful. I don't want to, I know there's other people working on. Can you show me how to set up alarms for Payday? Yes, bud. So if you don't want constant alarms, then go to your Trend AI and tick off real-time data. Okay. And that will ensure that when you get your transitions, it waits for the hour to close. Yeah. And you won't get, if you get it in a minute. So you can see that hour closed weak, then went back strong, right? So the only thing is you may miss out sometimes. If it's too quick of a trend, it will go straight into bearish. But you can see there we go bearish, weak trend. You've got your alert, and then we flip bullish. And then obviously you're looking for that sequence 1s, 2s to take you into the bullish trend. Obviously, we don't transition out of that one. All righty. So go to alerts, click plus. Okay, so I've got my NQ. I want to select my trend AI. I want to select the trend is weak. And obviously, we'll be adding in the other strengths as well. If people want to use them or not, still decide we're going to use it. So only once means you'll only get it once. If you want it to repeat, you can repeat when the bar closes and repeats when the bar. If you're using it to when the hour closes, set it to once per bar. So as soon as that bar done, it'll give you it. Or alternatively, obviously, once per bar closed is what I use. And then you put in your details and your alert. And then obviously, because I want to be able to jump on and trade, I have mine set to use real time. And obviously, just to show you the examples of, that's because I've changed what real time looks like. Real time looks like this. Yeah. So we can see we're now transitioning into bullish on gold. So if I go to Trend AI, if I just turn that off, you'll see that it stays solid until the end of the hour. Then it'll confirm it for you so that you don't get each. So there you can see that we go weak. Now we transition bearish. Now we're strong bearish. We're under the zero line. We get across. Boom, down it goes. We take the low as well at the same time. Yeah, just turn them off. So you just go into here and just go bing, bing, turn them on and off, just like that. Sorry, yeah. I'm just going to drop in here. So we've got an off. We've still got the 10% off on the free trial. So the free trial's got $50 off, and after 14 days, and then you can get an additional 14% with the promo code of, let me put it in. So let me give you that now. So this ends on October the 27th. So if you are wanting to take a trial for, see if you're interested, you want to use promo, use the YouTube promo. Yes, you can use the same one. You'll get 10% off. Again, this ends at the 27th. We will not be doing the same discounts after that point. No. This is just for the launch. I'm going to give you the link now to the store. All right, guys. And if you want to start your trial or join up. The course is inside. The videos are there. Continue getting ads on. Get in the Discord. Obviously, we're continuing to support in the Discord, add videos, and that's only going to increase. The code does not work for lifetime access. Let me just fix that for you. I apologize. Okay. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I will extend it. Promo code. New one. And again, this is going to expire on the 27th, Sunday. Select which product this code applies to, and I'll add this one for the lifetime. So this is just for the lifetime. I've given it's a 11% off. Okay. So I'm going to post that in. And there's your lifetime discount. That ends on the 27th as well. Apologies for that one not swing. So the 10% ends on the 27th, the additional 10% off that you can get. Obviously, at the moment, the 14-day trial, that's going to be going as well, probably a couple more weeks, and it'll just be a 7-day trial. So at the moment, you can get a 14-day trial with $50 off. And if you use that promo code, you'll get another 10% as well. And then that will be going in 2 weeks. So it'll only be a 7-day trial. So if you want to give it a go, now is the time to jump on. Lift time. If I put lift time in, it is lift time, yeah. You need to, for your lifetime discount, put lift time. What about a giveaway? So we've just done obviously 5 lifetime licenses giveaways. We're not going to be doing a giveaway today. However, we will be doing a giveaway. What we're looking to do is each week we'll have a giveaway. We'll get it so it's scheduled. So one day specifically in a week, we'll be doing a giveaway so that you'll be able to know on that live stream there'll be a giveaway. It might be 3 months free, for example, or if we hit certain milestones, we'll give lifetime licenses out. But yeah, absolutely, we're going to continue to obviously to give away prizes. Certain things we're going to be giving away as well. At some points, we might do one-to-ones for people. So at certain times, we'll add in, if you get this offer, we'll add in an hour's free one-to-one so that we'll come on directly with you and support you and ask us any questions you want as well. Again, this is about being a toolkit, about support. We will offer, again, for anyone who's new in trading, there will be a full course on market structure, how to use the indicator, our best setups, mindset, the whole caboodle, and also around prop firms, because obviously I'm a prop firm trader, with Apex and various other people as well, been through that whole process of passing and taking payouts. So there's different ways to trade the different rules. Obviously Apex is changing a lot, and how to keep up with that. And about best ways to kind of like manage your risk, take your profit, and to keep going, basically, make some money. The Payday setup, if you can, the whole thing I like about it is that you're trading statistics. So from your mindset point of view, you're waiting. You can see it. You're waiting for those things to align, and then you're looking to execute, right? High probability. So when you start trading with probability, yes, you're not going to be right all the time. We have to be wrong as traders. And that's okay, but we want to be long-term successful traders. And the way to do that is to know that when you're executing with longevity, because the probability is in your favor, and the long term of that will play out for you. Yeah. Cool. All right. So we've got 20 minutes until New York opens. So let's have a little look at New York. So that was a nice little pump. Did anyone jump on that one? It was our perfect hour. 86% low. Come down in a nice corrected manner into the EMAs, into our area, and then we're expecting our high here. We had a 70% of probability of this being bullish. It was a nice little setup. Okay, right here we're in sequence 3, right? So we're in a sequence 3. We are obviously come up now. The only thing I'd say is we're going into New York hour. So again, when you're talking about high volatility, you need to be careful, obviously, for high volatility. So I might switch my hour into New York trading hours. So for example, in here, I can change the settings to be regular trading hours, and then the hours start at past. So when New York opens, it's showing me from past to past. So it's predicting the first hour of New York. And I will look for price to push in the first 15 minutes and see the algo holding that prediction, and then waiting for price to show me it's ready to come back in the other direction, for example, or a continuation of the direction that I want. So yeah, so for example, in the stats, if we click on here, we can change it to regular trading hours, right? That's now flipped to show past till past. So this is showing you the New York hourly candle. So if I switch this to regular trading hours, right, this is showing me the probability of half past to half past. So we just need to mess with our lines a bit to get that. So we need to show half past, right? So when we look at an hourly candle, in regular trading, everybody's mentality is different. And I think kind of, this is why in all the videos we talk about waiting and talking about taking the specific setups, but it is trading. Anyone can go on and click buy and sell at any time. That is why there's a beginner section being built into the course to focus people on risk management. But, people gamble. That's just, the majority of people gamble. I mean, if you don't know when you're entering and what probability is where you're entering, then it's gambling. Okay, so we know that obviously when we switch into regular trading hours, we're in half an hour. We're starting at the half past, so we can switch the indicator to half past and the half past data. So, for example, stocks, in New York stocks, this can be great for the stocks. So I can switch into Tesla and I can see on the half past statistics, right? Tesla's got a 61% probability in the first 10 minutes, but our first 10 minutes is what? Till 40. So here, right? So we can switch into New York time, if you like, for the stocks and for New York Times sessions. Is the stream very bad? Yeah, guys, let us know. Is the quality not good? Someone else having trouble with the stream? Is it my... Back now. Apologies, it'd be my internet. Fine. So this is great. Thanks, guys. So this is giving us our flipping the hours as well to half past, which is really clever because obviously we've got our normal hour, maybe an electronic, but then especially with stocks, you think they start at half past. So we can obviously then look at our stock statistics and go, okay, well, let's do electronic. And we can see it's 52%. So we can see that actually for Tesla, when we're trading it, we want to be using the regular trading hours because it gives us a 61%. And then what you do in your V1, you use your late signals, which then become your high probability signals because they are based off of the half past, right? These give you your high probability. So obviously we can trade stocks, we can trade crypto, right? We can trade any asset that's got a candle. And this data is based off of historic data. So it's showing you that over 300, sorry, we put this into Tesla. So right now, obviously that would just be a 50-50 pretty much, but there's 687 data points that's collected. And obviously that's in regular trading hours. Yeah. So we can see those signals playing out nicely. Right. That's our first sell signal in a while. The algo's on regular trading hours as well, yeah, because obviously we need it to show half past to half past. So when we switch it to regular trading hours, it's only doing from half past. So we're getting that half past hour. So yeah, we switch to regular trading hours on the algo here as well. You can't see it because my face is in the way. So if I put it back to electronic, oh, hang on, regular. If I click on here, put it back to extended, you can see we get a different prediction. Okay, so that's a really nice feature for the hourly stats to be able to flip to electronic and regular, especially for the stocks and potentially NQ as well. And you can see the stats difference. So we know that the Tesla, it's absolutely better for us to trade on the regular trading hours because it's higher probability. For NQ, let's have a little look. Let's go back to NQ because this was the NQ chart. So NQ's pretty 50-50 when New York starts. What are we in? So we're in electronic now. Let's change our hourly stats to regular. So we can see that in the day, so we're just taking, we're in electronics, so we're showing everything. We're on a 53% and a 13%, right? And then if I switch back, we're running at 55 and 14, so it's slightly better in the day on the normal settings. Now, if we move into regular trading hours, we can see the normal hour is given as a 56% and a 13%. On bullish, I'm just going to move that over. So 58 and 12. Change it to regular. So you can see it slightly drops. So it's still good, still high. We're getting good high probability, but potentially not as much. And let's go up to the 5 minute and let's increase that data as much as possible. Okay, so 55, 51 for regular trading hours. And then in electronic, 57, 53. So electronic is just slightly better, but still, there's still good potential statistics. That's why when I say to you that signal is a good continuation, because it's showing you kind of from half past that sort of potential continuation of the trend. This sort of feature was kind of slowly rolling out in terms of utilizing it for stocks and everything else. There's a lot of stuff to take in, and obviously right now we don't want to confuse everyone. But yeah, absolutely, we can switch into looking at half past to half past for the regular trading hours, which is pretty cool, and find out whether statistically we're better trading with that data than we are the other data. So if we put on our normal signals, I'll put that back to electronic. That's back on electronic. That's back on electronic. Okay, we're back into electronic. So what are we doing? We're breaking highs. Why is this messed around? Why not an NQ? Why on the 1 minute? What have I done? Can NQ close above true high? A lot of questions. Right now, I only trade what I see. So I just trade what's happening right now. If I have data telling me something else, then yeah, possibly I'll look at that. But right now, I just trade what I see. Trade what you see. So obviously, until New York opens, it's also a big guess, right? So we want to see New York open. Yeah, market structure, breaking highs. Statistically, we expect this to be our low. We're making highs, coming back above. We're struggling to go lower. We flip. Boom, we go bullish. You got to change your hourly lines to be. That's where my head's gone. You are a legend, Top Rock. I was like, what is going on? Yes. Change my hourly lines. Thank you so much for that. My head was proper confused. All right, there we go. That's it. That's where we were looking at. That was the low, wasn't it? Okay, so we've got 20 minutes until New York Open. Let's have a little look at what the current New York Open was, so we see what we potentially expect to transition into. Okay, so we can expect a sequence 4 when we open, bearish with a higher time frame. Let's go and do the same. 7 hour. Okay, so that's how we closed. So, I mean, it's, you know, we are statistically looking at a... So we've got a sequence 3, high time frame bullish, high time frame bullish, we're bearish. So we're here, 203. So 61% probability of closing bearish. So not mega high. And yeah, we're now looking at a 7 hour candle on regular trading hours, which is the entire session of New York. Because it predicts the candle. So whatever you set the candle time to, it's predicting that current candle time. So if I change it to a week, show me a week, a month, a year, as long as there's previous data for it to analyze when the same scenario happened, that this was the predicted outcome, and we're seeing that same scenario happening now, bam, that's your prediction. So it's based on past data. When a particular scenario happens, predicts the outcome based off of what happens when that previous scenario happened on that pair, on that time frame. Okay, so just to look at this, okay, so obviously we're bearish in a higher time frame bullish. So we expect at some point to return back to being bullish. Before we do that, we have to go into a corrective. So we have to we expect obviously to transition into a corrective price action. So if we go into a corrective price action, so we'll want to see sort of like New York Open, how it opens, seeing what the algo's given us in terms of, is it holding the predictions? But we could transition into a sequence 1 of a corrective bearish. If we transition into a sequence 1 of a corrective bearish when we open, then there's going to be very, very high probability. Move out of the way. So a sequence 1 of a corrective bearish would give us a 91% probability of closing bullish for the New York. So we have to remember what we were on the day. So we were bullish on the day. So we're not expecting New York to go lower or close lower than the daily open. But right now, so the days we've been very bullish. We might expect some pullback, but we know what range we're sort of expecting that pullback to be within. But obviously, so yeah. So right now we're sitting between those two. At some point, we have to go corrective. We have to transition out of it to go into corrective. And then again, obviously, we are currently on a sequence 3. So I was talking about the 203 to 131. So of the 203, we had 131 transition. Quick math. So 65% is giving us the kind of, and these are these sequences we're in now are not our high probability. This is why when we're day trading, we're waiting for our high probability transition. So for example, when we're in a higher time frame bullish with a strong bullish, our transition continuation is up at 75% and higher. And that has a very high probability of continuing through the sequence. when we're corrective, we're knowing that we're corrective, we're expecting to come back bearish or back bullish. So the probability of that sequence continuing all the way down to a 10 is much lower. So for example, right now, because we're bearish against the higher time frame and we're already at sequence 3, there's a 65% probability. So it's more probable we will continue down the sequence than we will end. But again, we wait for price to open up and show us that that it's holding. And again, the algo's continuing to get work on. There's a lot more. There's a lot more to do with it. There's a lot more I can do. This is just the beginning. Let's get rid of the data table. And again, you know, however you trade, I respect every way of trading. And I wanted to create something that adds probability to how you what's down the pipeline. Shed loads, absolutely shed loads. So one of the next we've got a lazy boys coming next. So lazy boy is going to be taking you can set a specific area at any time. It's going to give you what the percentage probability is price of retracing within that area, hitting a certain level, and then going to a certain level. So basically, you'll be able to find high probability setups by time. And then obviously, if you then also couple them with the algo, but if you don't, it doesn't matter, because the whole point is it'll give you a statistical edge. You'll be able to set a limit order at that level. And if you get tagged in, you'll know based off of X number of times, 200, 300 times, there is a 65% probability of price going from here to here, just to kind of give people who struggle to trade and struggle to be on all the time some really easy setups that can happen every single day. So you know it's that same time period, that same period of time that you're looking at, and then it'll be done for you. Now my goal is for that to actually turn that into a signal so that you can connect it to a bot, get it built into different tools. So MetaTrader. What's the other one that I use? Can't remember it. Let me just NinjaTrader and QuantTower. We can do it into that so that you can run the system automatically. It'll do it for you. Or you can turn it on for the day. So if you look at the daily and you see, this hour, this is looking bullish, boom, I'm going to turn it on. Once it confirms, it'll give you that trade-off automatically for you. Then we also have the session times. So, hey guys, you'll be able to rewatch everything you want. Jump through. We've got discount codes going on at the moment. We've got a lifetime discount for your lifetime, but you can get a lifetime discount of 11% by using that code on the store. Apologies for that, guys. That's why I do the talking and Tony does the text. There's a link for that. As well as the YouTube promo code will give you 10% off on the trial, the 14-day free trial as well, which ends soon. So next is the session. So basically what you'll be able to do is go into the New York and look at the New York session, London session, and it's going to tell you very much like this in terms of when you're looking at the highs. It's going to show you in New York where the probability of the high of the New York and the low of the New York is. Yes, Slang, another trade, another win. Congratulations, buddy. I mean, it's running. We're bullish. We're going. 72% on CL. Great trade, bud. I mean, it is perfect. Yes, so you'll be able to look at the session, find where the most probability is based on stocks, shares, crypto, the whole caboodle. You'll be able to look at each asset and find out during the New York session, when does Tesla put in its high? When does Tesla put in its low on a bearish day? The code does not work. Lift time. Does lift time not work? Oh my God. Hang on a second. Okay, so we've just opened. Okay, that's just going to get done now. I've asked Tony just to go on and get that sorted, rather than me while I'm in between trying to set it up. He'll be on shortly, and we'll post that. Okay. You'll get a comment shortly, giving us that. So there we go. So we go into our sequence 1, which is what I was talking about. So we have a 84% probability of expecting today to close. Sorry, there's 8% of closing bearish. That is a big gap. So often might see it push down. What we want to see when we push down into the gap, if we do, we want to see how the sequence holds. So let's put this into an hour. Okay, so let's have a look at this now on our regular trading hours, which is what we're on. So we know we're on a sequence 5 for the first hour. I'm based in the UK. Yeah, there's loads of people. Very popular in the UK. Not as popular as in America, I'd say, but it's very popular. Oh, is it? We're below the open, so we've got a high probability of closing bullish today for the week. Okay. Might be why we're getting that into the week. This is what I mean. Obviously, the multi-time frame. I know, obviously, the kind of everyday sort of trades are built on the hourly. So we're talking about future products. So you're going to be able to have this for the hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, half day, daily, weekly, monthly. So it's going to give you the statistics for whatever you want to trade, the high probability entries. So you'll be able to trade any time frame, and you'll have all the probabilities. So you can look at how the current 4 hours playing out, where the lower the 4 hours, seeing that hourly potentially switch. So yeah, it's all the data is all going to be built for you moving forward. Anyone who's got that lifetime access will have forever access to it. All these updates you'll just continue to get. I'm a very creative person, and I've got lots of great ideas. Thanks, Mr. B. Lifetime, use the code. Is it 11%, Mr. B? Oh, he's not coming on there. But if you want the lifetime accent, spelled correctly instead of lift time. We'll get used to me doing my spellings wrong, but it's fine. Yeah, so it's a lifetime code for your promo. Yeah, so obviously the data-wise, you can see already just for the hourly how strong that is for your day trading. But for the likes of crypto and stuff like that, where we want sort of longer-term investors, we can then build. We'll have that data for it as well. Obviously, we can still use the sequence. We can still use the candle probability on the higher time frames to give us an indication of when we expect Bitcoin to flip and go bullish. We're in a strong sequence 1. Are we going to continue that trend to jump on? Are we expecting to correct and go down? So it's still great for kind of longer term investments, especially then if we adjust the settings on Trend AI, we can get payday setups, if you like, on the higher time frames. But obviously, you're just buying into the crypto or the stocks. Right, so let's make this in the middle. So New York is 96% probability to close bullish. Yeah, at the moment, yes, correct. Yeah. And that's just based off of however many times kind of the sequence happened and what we got. It's pretty cool. I feel like obviously it's this, something that doesn't exist in the trading industry. I feel like I brought something that, we've not had before. That it takes a bit of time to get everything takes a bit of time to get used to and understand the positives and the negatives of everything. But generally speaking, I feel like if you add these confluences, if you stack up all these confluences, which is what we're meant to do, you take your trigger and you take your trade, you're trading with the highest probability. And you shouldn't need TradingView Premium because it's just about how many. It's based on obviously like look back. So all trading limits how many candles you can see, right? It's like DRI, VR on steroids. it's based on recent data. So the difference with DR and IDR, and obviously I was in DR, most of the data is bullshit. So for example, if you go on CL and you go into the data, if you go back 10 years, if you look at the last 3 years of what the 10-year data gives you, you can see that in the last 10 years, virtually none of that data is played out, right? And it's historic old data. What's the exactly? As where this is showing you now. It's showing you what's happening now. What is the probability now? And it's showing you recent price action. It's showing you on what's happened now, not 10 years ago. It's showing you, true data. Like the hourly data, we can go through it. We can increase the data. We can reduce it. We can show it to, we can show it playing out this week, and it's the data is consistent. Obviously, we can see if it's starting to be weakened and it's not performing as well, but it's live, which is really, really important. So there's a lot of great things about DR, but the data, even then, one of your segments is giving you what, 10%? Yeah. Your buy signals aren't the same as mine. Is it because I'm in regular trading hours? Let me come out of regular trading hours, go into electronic. Is that better? Don't say that. Oh my God. MJ. I can't. I won't even. I won't even try and do a German accent. No, I've got a lot of respect for DR, and I've got a lot of respect for the people, obviously, in DR. So many dedicated and really hardworking people. Yeah, it's a great community, and I've got, I think there's a lot of value there. Just that's the one issue I have. Right. So hard facts. Everything's looking nice. I'm just going to switch back onto electronic. So obviously we had a sequence 3 as well. 1, 2, 3. I think we just about get that hourly low. Yeah, hourly low. Let's see if we can find. I mean, obviously CL's just been beautiful. Could have had that trade on NQ that we called before. Yes, to the moon. Gold. Okay. Watching gold. See how we're weakening down here? I mean, obviously we're still getting this sort of corrective price action, right? And obviously we're correcting between bearish and bullish and bearish and bullish. We've taken highs. We'd expect right now, potentially, we are above. Be bullish, sequence 1, 88% probability of closing bullish. So gold, we can expect, we opened here, right? So we expect to at least be going above there. You're still in CL? King. Well, you can't post images, can you? I'd love to see the profit going up, buddy. What are the potential entries the last hour and a half in New York? Now, it is about waiting for high probability. So obviously, we've just looked there. Well, what do we say? Corrective. What do we look like when we're corrective? Trending down. Yeah, we're in a channel down. When we're correcting down, we expect to go bullish. When we're correcting up, so correcting down, expect to go bullish. When we're bearish, often we'll sort of sideways or be correcting back up and then drop, right? So you can't always see them, but that was a real clean, easy one. What we expect, we obviously want to see trends going blue. We want to see this turn blue, and then we might see gold give us a pump. Although we are bearish, so I'm not holding too much on that. But anyway, what were we looking at? CL. Let's see where you've smashing CL. We've got a CL king here. Where did you enter? From 70.68. Wow. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. And Q starting to potentially come back. So we're going into that last segment on gold, right? So if we're expecting to have a bullish hour and close above this line, we expect this high to go, right? So if we've got a bullish hour in the last 20 segments, we've got a 44% probability in the last 10 minutes, and we've got a 28% probability. So combining those together, we have a 70% odd probability that we're going to close bullish, that high is going, right? And we have an 88% probability that we are expecting that close as well. Can you please go over the description for corrective bullish and bearish again? I can't tell which one means up and which one means out. Sure. So if in the algo you see anything, so whatever the letter is, whichever direction the arrow is pointing is the prediction. So if it's pointing up, it's predicting price is going to close bullish. If it's pointing down, it's predicting price is going to close bearish. Now, you do have ones that have a really low probability, and it's just that you're looking to flip that, right? So if we go corrective, the very first corrective candle is like very, very, like usually about 95% probability the opposing direction will happen. So we're going bullish, we're going bearish, bearish, bearish. At some point we have to correct. When we get that correction, there's such a high probability it closes bullish, but then that very quickly drops off. So after that first corrective candle, we then look down to like 46%, 30%. So as the correction ends, you see the probability starts to drop and drop and drop, and then we're expecting to return back into a sequence one on a strong bullish. But if you want to know which direction, use the name bullish, pointing up. Prediction is this percentage candle closing bullish. Yeah, this is your higher time frame, pointing down, bearish. All right, we confirm. So we've got a little bit more time, and then that'll be a nice transition. Yeah, from bearish to bullish. We need to see the hour fit in. And again, the thing I'd say is obviously hasn't yet fully confirmed, and we are still being patient and waiting for the right setups. Not quite payday. It is still coming into a high probability, but obviously we need the higher time frame to match to give us that kind of return to the higher time frame. These are still trades that I like to look for because, again, when we transition, we can still get some really good moves, even if it's against the kind of trend. But it is about kind of making sure everything's aligning. So we haven't taken the previous hour's low, but obviously what we want to see is we want to see it take the high, which we've not yet done. See this now zigzagging up. Might just take the high. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Give us a like, guys. Somehow make this YouTube algorithm do something, apparently. Did we give a like? Is it in the comments? Is it a like on the video? I ain't sure. Just here to share and see if we can find some setups. We got a good setup on NQ. And CL's been smashing it. And Mohammed's been killing it on CL. We got some great traders in the house. We're on gold. We're watching. So obviously we want to see continuation, right? Taking highs. When we don't take a previous high, it's like our first potential indication that we might see a reversal back to weak. This is interesting. See how NQ is doing. So we're still going up on NQ. I like CL. I like CL. Okay, this is interesting. So I am a VIB guy, right? I do like my VIBs. So we've put a high in the middle, right? We're just plodding along nicely. So we put this high in the last 52% in the last 20 minutes. Obviously, it's 20% in the half an hour. So that was in the half an hour. So it is in this line of data. So it's 50% that the high will be here, but we're struggling to get close above that. Yeah. Explain VIB in a bit more detail. Sure. I mean, obviously the VIB indicator is a free one that anyone can have. It's not part of the subscription, so you can get that. I'll put a link so you can obviously ask it the one that I've built. So what a VIB is in here, you can see the gap between the two candles. So because we've got wicks in between them, it's called a volume imbalance. And it's basically where price has moved fairly fast when the candle's opened. To a VIB. And you can see there, price, generally when we have a VIB, price will come back, and they can be used as areas of support. When we're bullish, we can come back down, and they can also be used for areas for resistance. And then when we leave one open, we often expect price may come back and trade through and trade around that VIB. So you can see we've opened up a big one here to get above. We've corrected above. Now we've failed to close above. So we might see this price come back into bear wick, and then that might be our drop down. And then we often look for, do we have any open? So we can see we've got an open one here. So potentially price might want to come down, fill that. We've got this one here. If I turn on my indicator, you can see it's just going to highlight some gaps and some VIBs for us. I've just done something I didn't want to do. And you can just see like how when the blue ones are the gap. So when we come above, how we open this one, we come back above it, we open another one. They can just be great points for stop losses. You can use as targets. I like to, they are good for like sniper entries and getting your stop below the VIBs. Like when we come above here, it's like I don't want to be going below this one. I might want to use this as my stop. As I'm coming potentially back, you can then use like here as your stop. So they do help you have tighter stops and targets. And it is something I'm going to cover in a separate video on its own. But for now, here we go. So are we going to get our high? How long have we got? 10 minutes? Quite easily. We do know that 36% are in the last 10 minutes, which is after this candle. We've got gold. So see now we've tried to pump up and we've come above, come down, come above. So this might be gold's potential to return back to our higher time frame, but we'll see. Gone correcting again. If this closes, again, we're still predicting very high probability that we're gonna be above here. We shall see. How's CL doing? Marching along nicely. Bye-bye, NQ. a sequence 9. Stick with NQ for a minute. So we are coming up to our first half an hour for NQ. And obviously right now it is just straight bullish. Right. Off the charts, which is great, but we'll wait, see if we can find an opportunity. If anything looks too, then I think we've had a good call on NQ beforehand and gold, but we need to see. Obviously not jumping in around here. So obviously again on the NQ side, so just giving you the regular trading hours, right? So this is giving you a signal to say that for the next till 3:30, that low is not expected to go, right? So right now, based on that probability, that's confirmed that we don't expect this low to go this till in this hourly candle in another 40 minutes, right? If we use the statistics, let's have a look. Change it to regular trading hours. Regular trading hours, yeah. So we're bullish, 52%, 17%. We've already done 10, 20, just done 20. So yeah, statistic level. So this is currently sitting at, let's just say 70%, make my life easy. Hang on. To 10:30. So that's what that's telling us in confirmation, that right now there's a 70% probability that this is our low. Yeah. We're expecting bullishness, high time frames bullish. So you can see how like kind of trying to stop you, you know, when you thinking price is going to come back on you, like, oh, okay, I'm going to start shorting and stuff like that. It's like, it's helping you kind of stay out. Like, we haven't got anything to say that we're looking for shorting. We're just really bullish, right? At some point, the hour will change. At some point then, when we start seeing that hour change, breaking lows, then we can look to take our trade. If you go in now, a lot of the time, unless you have the data to say that level is specifically the level that higher percentage chance it turns around, then we're just guessing, right? It looks like it's going to go down. I'm going to jump in. So this is why we have these statistics, because it's about helping us to stay out and not jump in on trades and not overtrade and not be emotional and stay out of it. And I don't know if we can read this. Can't really read it very well. Can we read it? Can have it up on the wall. Don't break the rules. They're there for a reason. Anyone break their rules today? I've not been good. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you very much, man. I love that. What are my thoughts on gap fill stats? Very interesting. I haven't built any stats around the gap fills. I've seen a lot of the stats around the gap fills. But I've kind of stayed away from it for the meantime because it's been other people's things. You know, I try to be quite respectful of what other people are currently teaching. Doesn't mean at some point that obviously that data will be built in and we will have all that sort of that built-in data of probability of gap fills. I think from what I've read, the first time, like now, today's less probable of filling the gap. Is that right? At ES, we know in a bullish trend, we see the low at 930 for 75%. At ES, we know in a bullish trend, we see the low at 930 for 75%. Is that Aaron, what are we talking about here? Yes, you know, in a bullish trend, low 930. Talking about for the day or the session, or which time frame are we talking about? One hour session. Okay. On ES, yeah. Are we going in regular trading hours or normally to go into regular trading hours on this? So you can see ES actually on regular trading hours gives us less probable. But anyway, let's just look at those stats. Yeah, regular trading hours. Okay, so where the low's been put in now, yeah, we can see that we are almost half an hour, right? So we're at segment 3. So we know, look at it this way, right? We've got 52%, 16%, so 68%, 78%, 80% probability, right, that the low is here. Now, why do we think this is the low? Okay, well, let's look at it. It was a bearish candle. Then we know the high is going to be 56%, 66, 71, 81%, 84%. So by this point, this would have been the high. Because we're taking highs, we know that once we break that 20-minute segment and take that high, right, we know that actually we've already confirmed statistically that's the low for the hour. Now, I think one of the things I'm going to try and do is build a micro scalping system as well, so that, like, for example, when we're in trends and try and find those sort of quick scalps that we can use using high probability, but something else on the radar we're thinking about as well. High time frame stuff, long-term trading, some trading, investing, day trading, scalping, all part of the package. Yeah, I'd be interested to look at gap fills from a time point of view. So when we do fill a gap fill, at what time do we fill it? And then what's the probability of the high going once you fill the gap? Stuff like that as well. Obviously, the more as we grow, this is part of why we did MaxAlgo, is because I want a development team so that it's not just relying on me to put in that time. So this isn't yet changed. That's just a half an hour window, right? It's just half an hour. If we're looking at it in regular trading hours, I haven't changed my settings yet. So that's half an hour. Yeah, so the first half an hour is done. Just going to put it back to electronic. So we want to see this first 10 minutes now, right? So now we're moving into, we're going to use electronic for this. We want to see this first 10 minutes play out, then into the next 20 minutes to see where we think this hourly candle could go. Is it going to give us more of a signal that this could be a bearish hour? Now, obviously, we're in a sequence 10, so we've gone quite a long way, all the way through the sequences. So all the way through, right, sequence 1. Fucking hell. I mean, we've gone high probability, 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 all the way through to a sequence 10 now, to the point where we've got 29 times did we make it to a sequence 10 out of, let's have a quick look at the data. Put it to the top. Let's see, strong bullish. So we're matching time frames. So obviously this is the whole thing about Payday. When you become, that's why you have a strong bullish, not just bullish, strong bullish, because we are going into a trend matching the higher time frame. And that's where you get those more of those long runs, those long Payday runs. That's why it's called Payday, because it's like we should have a good run. Let's have a look. So we're in a sequence 10. So we're bullish to sequence 10. 9 we have to transition out, right? So we've already had 29 come this far. At some point, this trend has to change. We have to go into corrective. However, right now, we are sitting with a 96% probability based on the 29. If we look at the first time this happened, so we are strong bullish. So there's been 639 times we started a sequence 1 matching the higher time frame. Of those 639, only 29 times did we make it to a sequence 10. So that's giving you the example of not very often do we go all that way to sequence 10. So it gives you an example of the trend strength today on the bullish side has been really, really strong. However, on the daily, I think we also match the higher time frame as well. So when you can see the daily switch to match a higher time frame, you know the lower time frames are more likely to maintain that strength, because if the daily switches into like a sequence 1 matching the higher time frame, you know you're going to see it go through. So on my watch list, I generally have gold, yes, NQ, CL, EURUSD, YM, Bitcoin, a couple of other crypto stocks as well. Some of the top sort of stocks. So obviously I've got this as just showing me what my current prediction is for the stocks. So I can see at the moment, Apple, we're in a sequence 1, bearish, 81% probability. We're corrective bearish on Amazon. So Amazon is expected to close bullish, all that type of thing. So I'll then potentially look and, I might want to look at trading on the stocks. And again, I'll look them on the higher time frame as well. So for example, I did quite a bit on Tesla on the monthly. So we went in weekly on Tesla. You do like September, like the probability of December closing bullish. So the weekly, obviously this week has been a strong bullish week on a sequence 1. So next week, what do we expect? We're expecting Tesla to go into another bullish week, matching the higher time frame. So we expect next week potentially good as well. But then obviously we can look into the monthly. And you can see, obviously, we are bullish and bullish. It's only happened twice that we've gone on this data on the monthly. So obviously we don't have as much data on Tesla, but every time it has, it's closed bullish. So this is this month for Tesla. So it's not just day trading. It's really good. I don't use divergence now. Right, let's put that back. Right, we are 5 minutes in. So this is our low for the hour. This is our high for the hour. But yes, lots of. Here's our low. Let's Still looking very corrective, bullish. Up. Sequence 10, so we're going to wait, make sure our data aligns. Gold. Not more interesting. Gold going the other way. So we continue to take highs on CL. So obviously one of the things that I look for before I'm taking any short trades, I want market structure to align. Can you see if you get a probability print on the daily for NQ? Can I get none? Yeah, sure. So I've got 333. So as you saw when we opened, because we gapped up, when we gapped up, we immediately pushed ourselves into a corrective because obviously that volume increased. So obviously we had potentially going into a sequence 4, was it? But then as soon as we gapped up and opened, it was already given us that corrective prediction of a 97.9% probability of closing bullish today. That's what I get, bud. In a separate window, make sure you've got it in a separate window. And you can see it on my screen. So I'm looking at electronic trading hours now. Make sure I'm in electronic. Because obviously we start a new hour, right? We got 2 more minutes. Obviously, we're very bullish before we even think about anything else. I'd love to know what you guys trade. Are you an ICT trader? Trend lines, DTFX? What's your experience, guys? Drop it in. Like Mohammed, what do you trade, bud? You sound like an ICT trader to me. Cool. My mum is an ICT trader. Who else have we got? Any other IC traders? Momentum trading using combo of super trends, MACDMAs, former DR student, obviously, but not anymore. Cool. Right. Took me 5 years, but I've developed my own strategy. That's when I started becoming profitable. That's when I started doing my own thing. Wicked, man. So obviously, again, we were looking quite corrective, but and we popped the top. So we were at 10 minutes, right? So an early signal for us will be this high going. So obviously, when this high goes, then we have a 54% probability that this is the low. Is my data reduced? Where am I taking data from now? Why is that lower? Based on this current hour. What have I done? 182. Not filtering by hour. I'm not filtering by day of the week. Can have a look at Fridays. So Fridays have been slightly higher. Comes back more to the norm when we go up into the data. Just more recent Fridays have been more relevant. Where you guys from? We got any ICT with some data-driven add-ons? Wicked. Gotta love data. I use data on the opening 15-minute candle to trade. I have a second strategy which targets the other side of the opening candle that wasn't taken out when things line up. Sweet. Seen that before. Who was I see that trading that 15-minute? What's his name? It's a guy on YouTube as well that does it, doesn't it? He scalps fake breakouts a lot, and then he's been doing the 15-minute. Don't know if you've seen him. Here we go. So now we take this low. So what does that mean? Look, we're 12 minutes in, right? So right now we're sitting about the 56%, maybe up to 60% if we were to use each minute. So potentially we're now expecting that right now data is favoring that this is our high, but we are very bullish. We are very, very bullish. It's still early, right? We want to see more data aligning, get past those 20 minutes. You know, we had 17% on at that point, 66%, 73%, whatever it is. Then the high is confirmed. That's given us some nice data. Now, again, we don't just use this data. We use all of the data combined to give us a high probability, yeah? That's why this isn't just this indicator. It's the combining of all of the statistics that gives you your confluences, that gives you your high probability. So when everything's aligning. Still quite corrective. I'm not taking that low. Here we go. Yeah, so obviously what we want to see now potentially is we transition into a corrective. So remember on the regular trading hours, I think we were up at 10, weren't we? Was it 10? 5, was that ES then? Must be an ES. As you can see at the moment, it's an interesting thing though, but we switched to New York. So on the Algo, New York, just on the regular trading hours is higher time frame bearish. Although during the day, we've been more bullish, right? So our higher time frame's more bullish during the day before New York open. When we switch between the two, you can see, look. So the daily, when we take in the day price action, it's been considerably more bullish compared to the New York, which overall has been more bearish. Which is obviously another interpretation of the data. You know, like I still like this from a price action point of view, but you know, data's data. I like corrective price action. Diagonally, like here. But right now, statistically, it is in our favor that this high does not go. Because we still, don't get me wrong, we could still take the high. And if you think about it from a bullish point of view, it would be in the 15%, right? So there's still high probability time. That's why we wait for the 20 minutes. Just because most data is surrounded within that, right? And we are very bullish. Anyone have a look at Bitcoin? Do you want to look at some crypto? How I plan to use it on higher time frame? Exactly the same way that we're using it on the 1 minute and the hour. So we're just going to go up time frames, and then we're going to use the Payday. Basically looking at that, but the settings obviously being built for the higher time frames. With the algo predicting, obviously the giving us that direction that we're in, everything aligned. So yeah, I think that's kind of obviously what I wanted to have with that is the higher time frame data. So at the moment, obviously we've got the hourly. What we really want is weekly profile, which we generally know the weekly profile anyway, but we want it confirming by pair. Let's have a look. Just gonna change. I'll just do it on here. It's fine. No. Change key. I use the index, right, to get as much data. So I started trading in crypto. That's where I started my journey. High time frame bullish. Yes, correct. Bearish transition. Back to bullish. Absolutely. So obviously Bitcoin data, you can see pretty similar. Take the low. So there's the previous hour high, previous hour low. So a lot of the time, what do we get when we go through that first payday? We get that manipulation, right? We take the low and then we take the high, and then often we'll go on a little bit of a sprint, right? So here you can see here's our previous hourly low. So we take that, and then in the same hour, here's our previous hour high, we take the high. We also then cross. How many times have we seen it like this? We then cross, we get our confidence. If we're going to go bullish, that we expect by now 76%. So even though obviously we confirm that on here, you can see the buy signals stay. So you know, you can look at various things. We can look at taking an entry into price. We could put a VIB at the low, right? Look to take some entries off of pullbacks, or you know, you can mark areas of where you think price might go into and try and pull in there. We can go straight in. If we want to buy in here on the breakout, fine, no problem. Just need your risk. It's all about you managing your risk. But yeah, this manipulation is a very common price action when you get a transition, after a transition, because obviously we want to wipe out the people going long and then go. And generally we do it very quickly, and you'll see it in the same candle, and then you'll get that continuation. So how high have we been previously? Okay, so we've gone quite high on Trend AI, so we're not even up there yet. So we might even see this high go, which is what we would expect, because obviously if our higher time frame is bullish, when we transition, so we've had our first bullish, so transition bearish here. Took a while to get out of this transition. Transitioned here to bullish. Go. So yeah, we're taking them highs. Here's a continuation. We failed to go bearish. So Bitcoin, that's a better transition there. Look at that. Nice transition. Nice bearish transition. So you can see that we are on our way. So where do we expect our high? Bullish candle, right? We have a 41%. So 50, basically a 60% probability with Bitcoin that the high of this hour is going to be in the last 20 minutes. Yeah. But at least in the first half an hour. So we're not half past yet, right? So if you add that in, there's still another 16% on top of that as well. So that takes you to like 76, 78% probability that that ain't the high yet for this hour. All right, let's have a look at NQ again. Yeah. So here we get our, so we've had a buy signal, and here we get our confirmation confirming, like we said, the 20 minutes, that's high probability. We put in our low. Probability was still with us. Everything was still bullish, right? We can put on our candle color. What are we seeing? We're seeing bullish. We hadn't yet, and that was very corrective price action. Like we say, we correct down to go up. Obviously, we might see that flip where we take the high and then come take the lows, which will be fine. But right now, statistically, we're expecting bullish. We've taken the highs, which means right now, if we are going to be bullish, that we expect that that is 54, 70%. Sweet. Has quality gone bad? I apologize, guys. I'm going to have to switch up my internet, I think. What do you think about I think about Starlink? What do you think? I mean, I've got 5 gig lines, it should be all right. But what do you think about Starlink? Fine again. Do you know what it'd be? It'd be the bloody kids. Fucking, they'd be coming on, messing home, causing trouble. Bet yeah. Got a few spare if you want, if anyone wants one. Got 4 of them. Right. Glad it's better now. Okay. We've got our high probability low for this hour. Still predicting. Oh, I'm still on Bitcoin. Hang on. Thought that was too less of a sequence. Yeah. Okay. Set to electronic regular. Electronic, that one's still set to regular. Now we get bullish and bullish. So interestingly, okay, let's have a look at sequence 4, right? So let's look at some probability of us continuing at this point. So we are strong bullish. So we got strong bullish, sequence 4, right? Into a sequence 5. So obviously when we get a sequence 5, this is where we go up probability. So if we close, we don't reverse this hour. So this is where we have that kind of potential pullback. But let's have a look. So right now, this hour. So there's a 71% probability you trade only bullish, bearish, and bearish. You change bullish, bullish, and bearish, bearish. Yep. I don't want to trade corrective price action. I want to trade where it goes and goes to my target, and I can be done and walk away. And that's why I trade the specific setup, because it's about when the trend changes and comes back to actually what is it? It might only be we grab an hour or 2 hours, but that price action when it happens is generally a stronger push. So we generally get a quicker move. It then might be corrective for the next 10 hours, which is fine. But obviously we're waiting for our algo and everything else to align to give us, this is when most likely you get those pumps. Only high probability. And again, do I enjoy trading? Yeah. Could I jump on every hour, trade every probability? Yes. But we all know that's the road to failure, and the road to success is patience, waiting for those right setups. We don't need loads of them. Like I can put, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 on a trade for a payday. I can put 500, no problem, on a payday. There's enough of them nearly every day. We've seen how many we've gone through today, last 2 days. There's loads. It's just about waiting for those really high probability setups and taking them. So back onto the statistics of where we are. So the next hour. So when this hour closes in half an hour, we have 188 divided by 273. We tend to go into a corrective phase by this point. To go into a sequence 5, 85% probability of closing bullish. So potentially this is gold paydays. This is where we, potentially we might see that reversal, but until we see that, we maintain with our probabilities. Right, let's go back. Really pleased, starting to, see the high probability setups, seeing them play out. We trade with data, we trade with probability, and the majority of the time, it'll be right and in our favor. Let's have a look at gold. Got a nice transition. Obviously, we've corrected again. Sequence 1. What have we got here? Potentially that nice sort of corrective price action where we can correct down to go. That's what we've seen, right? Maybe we're going for the high. Nice one, Pickles. Where did you Where you think you've taken some profit yet? You think about taking some profit? Where's your ideas, mate? Come on, gold. Two R. Don't like this. You were at that bottom. Lower time frame. Maybe around. But we're starting to level off, but we haven't yet changed. Still bullish to a degree. We still play probability, right? So let's go up. So right now we are just in the half pass. So obviously we have the high around here. So we have all this data. So we have 15, so 10, 30, 36, fucking 48%, 78%. So if we're going to be bullish, the high is going to be in the segments where we are now. So still potentially have data on our side that we should take that high. I'm really pleased. This is what I wanted. I wanted to create something to help traders, have probability on their side and use their edge, not just what I'm kind of doing, but using your edge with my tools to be the best trader you can be. I love it. I'm passionate about it. I love helping people. I love working with people. Very creative. I love creating things. And together we're empowering each other to really go forward, and I will continue to build out the high probability and the statistics that you guys want. Any ideas you have, stuff, we'll throw into it and get it built for you. And I want to include it, like right now, MaxAlgo is amazing, but it's just going to be insane long term. I appreciate it, buddy. It was a funny one because obviously, like, when I started out, I wanted to do as much as I can free, and obviously I still plan on that with It's Impossible. But to make this happen, to really kind of take this to the level it needs to be, the amount of time it's taken me to build it all, obviously along my other businesses and everything else, kids, I need to bring in a team to support me with it, and I can't do that on the free. Because the potential of where I can take the algo and what we can do is just, it's worth its weight in gold. So gold, right, is not a payday setup. It is still a high probability setup, but it is not a payday setup. The reason why it's not a payday setup is because the higher time frame is not matching the direction. So we're bullish, we're not strong bullish. That means we can still expect a strong move because we have flipped, but potentially we might not get that long payday kind of, continuation of the trend. So, right now you're just looking to take your profits in line in the hours and everything else. But yeah, it's not a fish. It's still when I talk about high probability, the transitions are high probability because you're catching things early on. The highest probability is when everything aligns. So you can see right here, pointing down, pointing up. It's not aligning, and it says bullish. When we align, you'll see strong. Strong means you're in a payday, like as long as you've had this transition. So right now it's high probability because you've transitioned, trend AI is in line. So for example, you can get this without trend AI. So you can get a sequence 1 bullish, but trend AI not be in the same direction. So it's about having all of those things combined to give you that high probability setup. So what did we say? We expected this to have a current probability. So it's in the first 20 minutes. So here's your highs. So 4%. Let's just increase the data. 6%. So 10.5%. So we know, I'm going to say 11%. So it's 11%. It doesn't mean that it has to. It's just giving you probability. We know that statistically, it's very low probability that that is the high for this hour on gold, right? Not 100%, but statistically. And this is like, I've given the kind of main setups, but there's so much more. Like with the trade on NQ, when you saw that we pulled back into that high probability low, like, you can get 3R on those. It's low risk to enter because you're right near the low. You've got high probability it's going to be the low, and then taking it back up. So there's tons of other setups using probability. As time goes on, you start using the indicator that can help you kind of find potential setups, not just from the signals, from other things as well. But starting off, I really want to make it kind of like teach you about the data and help you develop your own ideas on it. And then also like from a signal point of view of, what I, kind of like the payday setups and those kind of really high probability and the things that I use, so that it's, you've got it as well as then you've got the data to really kind of fit your own trading style. What I always encourage people to do though is to make sure that, you're reducing risk. That's the most important thing, that you're taking risk off the table. You're taking profits where you want to take profits. We don't want to let trades come too far without taking something, or you're trailing, all that type of thing. Most important is obviously like the risk management, taking risk off the table. And especially with the prop firms, especially if you're in trailing drawdown, it's all right if you're on a PA and you've already gone past your profit and you don't have trailing. But at the beginning, you need to be securing profit, taking profit, reducing that opportunity for it to come back on you and take that trailing. So it's even more important in evaluations and early on in the PAs that you're just banking that profit, being done for the day, waiting again for that next high probability. See what NQ. So now you can see that we have changed. So potentially, now obviously we've gone even further in. So we're still expecting our low, right, for NQ. Maybe we'll get that manipulation up to do a bit of a turnaround, but right now nothing changes. We're going into that last 20 minutes for NQ. So we're expecting highs to be broken. With these signals, because they're price action based, you can be tight on your stop. You can be tight on your stop. Below the low of the candle. Be targeting what you want to target. Of course, absolutely. Which bit? Do you want the hourly stats? I'm on regular trading hours. I'm going back to April, January the 1st. I'm not using any filter by day. I'm not using any filter by hour. I'm on NQ 1. I'm on electronic. Yes. Is that the stats you mean? These settings? Oh, that's amazing. Hey, profit's profit. Well done, mate. Yes, please. Can I take a look at mine seems to be different. Is it this one? Yeah. Yes, please. Let's see your current settings for NQ stats. Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. So just make sure you've got your electronic trading hours. Your hourly stats are set to electronics. If we change that, we can see that changes. Our hour starts at the right hour. Otherwise, that can potentially change our stats as well. Our filter by day and all these. I mean, obviously, they don't matter if they're ticked or not as long as this one's unticked. So yeah, it doesn't change the data. Other than that, I'm going back to April. I can't think I can go back any further anyway. Yeah, it's all the data that's showing. Time frame, obviously, if you're on the 1 minute, it'll be different to 5 minutes. So if I go up to the 5 minute, you'll see we increase the number of candles because it's showing us more data. So this is statistically even higher because it's based off of 897 candles. There's gold. What did I do? I removed Bitcoin. So CL, we can see we're failing to take the high on CL. Haven't taken the low. But we are still expected to close bullish, which is this line here, which is where we're at. So we're expecting just to close above that. Is that all right, Alexander? Did you get the settings you needed, bud? You reach out to me in the Discord, you know, if you want to take a look. I can take a look for you. Right, just to share it again. Obviously, the 14-day trial is not going to carry on forever, as well as the discounts. I'm not a big one for constantly throwing discounts out or ad. Prefer to kind of just have, that's the value of what we offer. And then obviously we will, you know, we'll do discounts at the right time. Let us just get the code. Got them, thank you. Chat, slow mode. It is. Can we turn that off next time? I'll turn it off. Right, guys, if you want to take the trial, grab the link. It's 14 days plus $50 off. Listen, I appreciate the time everyone's been here. If you've enjoyed it and you've stuck with me, thanks for anyone who's been with you the entire time. Just drop us a like. You know, let us know you've enjoyed the stream and you've appreciated the value. I will be back on again next week, at least a couple of times, if not more. I'm going to try and go every day I can go live. I'll try and go live, and we'll continue to trade live and look for our high probability setups. Let's just check out gold. Go on, gold. Get that eye. Come on. Do I want to hold on? Just wait for that high to go. Yes, I do. Me and you, Aaron, we're for life now. That's it. You want a lifetime license. Want to see your feedback. You really help us take this forward. I appreciate everyone's support on this and ideas. I'm looking, so obviously overnight, so I tried to stay away from high volatility, so news, especially high volatility news, during obviously when the market closes at night and reopens in the afternoons. So, you know, that sort of period I'm staying away from. Other than that, if I'm available, so obviously this is my passion. I love to be here and do this every day and trade every day. But I'm not here every day. There are responsibilities with other things. So the days where I'm available, obviously I'm here all day, so I'm looking for those setups and waiting for those ones to come, and then getting on them. And mine tend to be, your trend AI is different. It's probably because I've changed the settings to be that. Yeah. So I've had my trend AI settings set to, when I was doing the example, not using real time. Big mistake. I like having it real time so you see it transition. See that trend go. But yeah, that's why. Have I got it set on anything else? Yeah, aim on that one. No, that one's set. Here we go. So now, see, obviously now we've transitioned on NQ. Potentially now we might see that corrective price action. We'll see. What else have I not got it on? That's fine. That's fine. Bearish. YM. That's fine as well. Yes. Go on, gold. So there you go. You can see obviously like how statistically we've played out. And we've taken our high with high probability. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a day today. We had a couple of good calls on trades. It's a shame I wasn't quick enough. I'll get quick enough to jump in on some of these. All right, guys. Have a nice evening. Oh, that's amazing. 3 to 4 easy there. Boom. Oh, yeah, from the low when we were talking. All right, guys. Take it easy. I'll see you on next time, or I'll see you on Discord, or obviously on Twitter. Drop us any messages. Some back testing. Yeah, we can do some back testing. Collecting some data, of course. Right. Ideally, I just want to kind of try and grab price live. But if you're on anyway, if you're in the Discord, come say hello. Obviously, if you're new to joining, I have got some more videos to put out. And obviously, I'm going to be continuing to build the videos ongoing consistently. I've just put a new update out on the V1. So it's V1.1. You need to add it and re-add it again. I didn't update people's charts to fuck everyone's up. So just go into the settings, and what you'll see now is that you can get alerts for signals. So, for example, if you select V1.1, you can get your buy signals if you want to get alerted, yeah, which gives you an early signal, for example, where the trend might be then going in the direction you're looking for. All right, guys, no worries. Congratulations, all the trades. We've had CL smashing it, NQ smashing it, and gold. Absolutely some crazy trades from Mr. Pickles and others as well. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you soon.